All right, guys, so we are here. We have finally arrived into Knightfall. And man, let me tell you, it is one heck of a start for us. So, we're going to start with Batman number 491, technically the first chapter to Knightfall. And then we dive into Knightfall properly with 492 for Batman. Now, in the opening pages for this story arc, we pick up with Bane and his crew. Now, we do see them heading over to an armory, and this is kind of similar to what we saw in the earlier parts of our coverage over Knightfall when it came to the preludes, where you had the general going out of his way to break into an armory to steal a bunch of weapons. And for Bane, he's doing the same exact thing. Now, some of the weapons he is going to keep, but most of the weapons he is going to hand out to other people so that they can use those weapons to cause chaos across Gotham. And word gets out very quickly to the GCPD that one of the armories in Gotham City has been attacked and has been completely robbed of all the advanced weapons kept inside of that armory. And so for Jim Gordon, Renee Montoya, and also Bullock, they're kind of wondering what to do here and most likely trying to figure out who in the world went out of their way to steal all those weapons. But like I said, their main concern is what are they going to do with all those weapons? Now, getting back over to Bane, we see Bane basically sitting down saying, okay, you know what? It's time for me to go ahead and attack Arkham Asylum. Now, his main goal is to let out all of the prisoners, to allow them to cause chaos across Gotham City. But he realized that he needs somebody to lead that chaos for him. And the best person to do that is, of course, the Joker. Now, we jump over to Arkham Asylum, but we pick up with Jeremiah Arkham. Now, when it comes to Jeremiah Arkham, he's the man in charge of the entire asylum. But this man right now is kind of worried about the idea that he's now beginning to go insane, that he feels like he's been infected by the inmates inside his asylum, like the Joker and other characters who are almost crazy as the Joker. Now, when it comes to Jeremiah, he's going to be somewhat important in these next few issues for Batman comics. Now, when it comes to Bane, he does arrive at the asylum. And here's the thing. When it comes to Bane and his crew, they attack different parts of Arkham Asylum for different kinds of reasons. So for example, one attack was to begin the process of opening up the cells to allow the prisoners to escape. Another attack was to take out some of the guards to make it easier for the prisoners to escape. Now, when it comes to the Joker though, the Joker does get free. But for the Joker, he's kind of like, listen, before I am able to lead this riot, I have to go after somebody else. And him and I gotta have a conversation. And for the Joker, that would be Jeremiah Arkham. Now, when it comes to Batman, he does know what is happening at Arkham Asylum. Now, you would think, okay, Bruce gonna call in Robin and also Azrael to handle this problem. But for Bruce, he's going in alone. Now, when it comes to Knightfall, really, when it came to the preludes that led into Knightfall, it really did establish the point that when it comes to Bruce Wayne, this man is exhausted. This man is mentally and physically drained. But the problem is, he cannot rest properly. And so because of that, he is unable to let his mind and body heal properly. And so when he calls up Robin, Tim Drake, he said, hey, listen, I'm already here at the asylum. I'm about to go in. Now for Robin, he's all like, you need backup. But Batman says, no, I'm going in alone. And Robin knows that is a bad idea because Bruce is still not completely healed up yet. But Bruce still believes that he's the only person who can protect Gotham, that he has to be Batman day in and day out. And so he goes in. Now, when it comes to Batman, when he does go inside Arkham Asylum, Bane is there. Bane is watching him. And matter of fact, you have Bane say, Batman is going to fail. And here is the reason why. Because he is going to go out of his way to make sure that the innocent people are okay first, rather than taking care of his enemies. That should be his first priority. But unfortunately, he got it backwards. And so Bane believes that Batman is going to fail. Now, when it comes to the Joker, though, the Joker found Jeremiah. And matter of fact, you had the Joker put Jeremiah in some kind of setup where there is a wire tied around the neck of Jeremiah. If he moves a certain kind of way, that wire is going to pull a trigger to a gun that's pointed right now at the head of Jeremiah. It's just the Joker continuing to torture Jeremiah to bring down his mental health. And let's not forget that this man was just saying a moment ago that he feels like he is going insane because he has been inside this asylum with all these different patients. Now, the GCPD, they are there, but unfortunately, they can't do anything at all. And the reason why? Because Bane gave all the inmates the weapons that he stole earlier. And so those weapons are being used against the GCPD. They are technically stuck outside and surrounding the building. And really, most of the inmates are now beginning to be able to get away because their weapons are just taking out officers left and right. Now, when it comes to Jim Gordon, he did go meet up with the mayor. Now, when it comes to the mayor, his name is Mayor Kroll. Now, when it comes to Kroll, his main thing is law and order. And so he is okay with the idea of telling the GCPD to go ahead and kill off the inmates. Now, for Jim, that is not okay at all. The only time an officer should kill somebody when they're trying to protect themselves. But this is the mayor saying, honestly, Jim, it's one of those moments right now where your men are out there fighting against guys who have advanced weapons. Right now, they should use their weapons to take down the inmates to save their lives. And really, the rest of Batman number 491 is just everything falling apart for Batman, Jim Gordon, and the GCPD, because you have Bane reappear with his crew, and they're firing missiles everywhere, taking out officers everywhere to allow the inmates to escape back into the city. Now, for Batman inside, by the time he gets over to the Joker, or where Jeremiah is at, the Joker is gone. The Joker has now made it back to the city as well. And so you have Batman go out of his way to save Jeremiah's life, yes, but now the Joker has gotten away. And that is why Bane said, Batman is going to fail, because his main goal is to worry about the innocent people first, rather than taking out his enemies first. Now, word does get back over to Jim Gordon, and he finds out that, hey, we lost some officers, but also most of the inmates, including the Joker, were able to make it back to the city. It's going to be chaos across the city. And now this is Jim saying, oh my God, what have I done? Like, he believes now that he should have taken the advice of the mayor and told his men, hey, use your guns to kill off the inmates, because now those inmates are going to run free across Gotham. The Joker is going to run free across Gotham. But now we jump into Batman number 492, where now we pick up with the Mad Hatter. Now, when it comes to the Mad Hatter, he is the first person to go up against Batman. One of the first inmates, the major inmates, to go up against Batman. So we see him going out of his way to break out a monkey that he's very close to. But this man got some plans coming up very soon for Batman and Robin. But now, getting over to Batman and Robin, we see them in the Batcave. Now, with them being in the Batcave, they're looking over a list of different characters that had escaped from Arkham Asylum, like Two-Face, the Joker, Mad Hatter, Film Freak, Poison Ivy, and the list goes on and on and on. They're all out there causing mayhem across Gotham. Now, for Batman, he's wondering who in the world did this. Now, for Tim Drake, he says it has to be Bane. Because remember, Tim met Bane before the actual Knightfall event. But Bane said, I don't want anything from you or Azrael. I only want the real Batman, Bruce Wayne. And so he left. And so for Timmy saying, it has to be that Bane guy I told you about. He's out there trying to come at you. But either way, Batman and Robin, they leave the Batcave to begin the plan to bring down all these different enemies. Now, when it comes to Mad Hatter, we see him driving around and around Gotham over and over again, but the same area of Gotham, because he realized that he's being followed by some kind of bird. Really, it's a hawk. Now, he told his monkey to go out of its way to grab the bird and bring it over to him. Now, when it comes to the monkey, it does it. Now, the bird actually belongs to a character known as Bird, and Bird works for Bane. And Bane told his crew, hey, I need you guys to go out there and observe all the different villains of Batman to gather notes about them. But also, if you see Batman going up against them, watch Batman fight against him. Gather more data about him and his rogue gallery. Now, getting back over to Mad Hatter, once he realized the bird's being tracked by somebody else, he put something on the bird and let the bird go to fly back over to, well, the bird character. Now, when it comes to the GCPD, they're trying their best to figure out who in the world broke out all those different inmates. You have Bullock and Renee just trying their best to figure out who it could possibly be and what is their MO. But the problem is they realize that this breakout could just be a random breakout, a smokescreen to keep the GCPD busy long enough while the main bad guy, of course Bane, does something else. And really, we already know what that is, to go after Batman, to keep Batman and the GCPD occupied with all these different enemies just running across Gotham. But bodies are dropping already in the early parts of this event. Now, for Batman and Robin, they do find a note that was left behind by the Mad Hatter from a hat store. And once you have Batman find the note, he realized that he has been invited to a tea party. And really, it's just the Mad Hatter saying, come to where I'm at and let's go at it once again. And hopefully this time I will take you out. Now, we jump over to the Mad Hatter and we see that he has thrown a tea party before the one he has for Batman and Robin coming up very soon. Now, when it comes to this tea party, we see the Mad Hatter had invited all these different people who were also able to escape from Arkham Asylum, like a character known as Film Freak. Now, when it comes to Film Freak, he is a D-list character. This guy would commit crimes where he was able to reenact the crimes that he saw in different movies that he loved while growing up, or different movies that he had appeared in when he was an actor. Now, of course, Batman was able to take him down very easily. Now, when it comes to the Mad Hatter, he invited all these inmates to this tea party, but he gave each one a hat to wear. Now, for these guys, they have no idea that inside the hat is some kind of tech that Mad Hatter had put inside them to allow him to take over their minds. And so when you have each person put on the hat, bam, just like that, he now has the ability to take over their minds, which he does. Now, when it comes to Film Freak, he's also included in the idea of having his mind taken over. Now, when it comes to the Mad Hatter, he says, listen, I need to know who was watching me earlier. Who in the world was trying to follow me around Gotham City? And so he tells Film Freak, take this device. It should lead you right back to the person who was following me earlier. And once you learn who that is, call me and tell me so him and I can have a conversation. Now, once you have Batman and Robin arrive at the tea party, you have Batman begin to question Mad Hatter because he believes the Mad Hatter is working alongside with Bane. Now, here's the thing. No one knows about who Bane is. Matter of fact, when it came to all the inmates, all they knew was they saw freedom and they dipped out. No one knew who broke them out. And so for the Mad Hatter, he's all like, who's this Bane person that you keep mentioning? Now, when it comes to Film Freak, he does arrive at the hotel that Bane is hiding in. Now, Bane sees Film Freak walking up, and he realizes that he needs to take out Film Freak. And so while you have Film Freak and also the Mad Hatter on the phone together, well, you have Bane begin to beat down on Film Freak. And the Mad Hatter and Batman, they can hear this happening right now. Now, you have Batman begin the process to bring down the Mad Hatter, but let's not forget that there were other inmates there earlier that he is currently controlling. And so you have the Mad Hatter tell them, hey, I need you guys to attack Batman right now. Like, bring this man down now. Now, you do have Robin jump in to help out Batman, but by the time you have Batman and Robin be able to take down the Mad Hatter, on the other side of that phone call, Film Freak is dead. Bane has killed that man easily. And Bane says like, hey, I'm coming for you next, Batman, and really anybody else who tries to come at me. And so it really shows that Bane is somebody you don't want to mess with at all. Now, the next chapter that we have to talk about takes place in Detective Comics number 659. Now, this time, we're going to see Batman and Robin go up against two characters, the ventriloquist and also Amygdala. And I really hope I pronounced that word correctly. I sat here for a while trying my best to pronounce that word correctly, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to call him by his real name, which is Aaron Helsinger, which for me, that sounds so much cooler. Now, when it comes to Aaron, he was actually in Arkham Asylum because he had a lot of episodes where he would just go on a rampage. And so when he arrived at the asylum, their main goal was to remove part of his brain that they believed that caused the episodes of him going on rampages. The problem was it caused him to have even more episodes where he would just go on a rampage for unknown reasons, trying to attack different people. Now, we do pick up the two characters right now, escaping Arkham Asylum. Now, when it comes to the ventriloquist, his main goal is to find Scarface. And so you have Aaron agree to help him find Scarface, and you have the ventriloquist agree to help out Aaron to find the meds to make sure that he does not have another episode. Now, that took place on the previous night where you have Bane release all the inmates from Arkham Asylum. Now, it's the following night, and we pick up with Batman and Robin finding the dead body to Film Freak. Now, remember, Film Freak was beaten down by Bane in the last chapter. And so for Batman, when he does look over the body, he realized that Bane beat this man to death. Like literally used his own hands to beat the man to death. Now for Robin, he is very disgusted in what he's seeing when it comes to the body of Film Freak. But you do have Batman and Robin leave. And the reason why? The police arrive. Now, when it comes to this police unit, you do have one officer that we're going to see over and over again, and that would be Lieutenant Kitch. And when it comes to Kitch, he is trying his best to help out the GCPD catch all these inmates and bring them back over to Arkham Asylum. But now we jump over to Dr. Simpson. Now, when it comes to Simpson, he actually worked at Arkham Asylum. And right now he's being interviewed by one of the reporters who's talking about what's happening across Arkham. And he says, listen, when it comes to the inmates, they are misunderstood. The idea that a lot of people believe that they are actually insane is pretty wild. They're not insane. They're just misunderstood. And really, they should be scared of us, not us being scared of them. Even though these same inmates that he is talking about have killed a few people across Gotham City. But now we have to jump back over to Aaron and also the ventriloquist. Now, when they arrive at a bar nearby, they begin to ask all the guys in the bar, have they seen Scarface, the usual doll that the ventriloquist usually talks through. But the problem is, when he walks into the bar, he is talking through a sock. And they begin to make fun of him. Now, when Aaron walks in, he instantly gets upset because, again, this is a guy who has a lot of episodes where he just goes on a rampage. And so when he sees a bunch of guys right now laughing at his new friend, he goes crazy and he begins to take every single person down in that bar. But after doing that, he then calms back down again and they leave the bar to continue to hopefully find Scarface. And so they head over to a nearby toy shop. Now, when they arrive in that toy shop, the alarms go off and Batman and Robin head straight over there. Now, once they do arrive, you have Batman tell Robin once again, stay out here while I go inside to deal with the bad guys. Now for Tim, he is very worried for Bruce because he knows that Bruce has not gotten the proper rest that he needs to continue on. But on top of that, they have no idea what is happening inside. But for Batman, he believes that he knows everything. And so he goes in by himself. Except when he does get inside, he is confronted by the ventriloquist, but then ambushed from behind by Aaron. Now, when it comes to Aaron, he is pretty strong and could be an actual challenge for Batman. And at first, we're left to believe that Batman might actually fail bringing down these two guys. Now, when it comes to Robin, he realized that they have been followed for the last few blocks now by the same two Hawks, which means the owner of the Hawks have to be nearby. And so you have Robin being able to sneak up from behind on Bird, the same guy we saw earlier that works for Bane. Now, when it comes to Robin, he does try his best to bring down Bird, but Bird is able to get the upper hand on Robin. Now, when it comes to Robin, he gets very lucky that Bane tells Bird, leave him alone. I want nothing to do with that guy right there. My main goal is Batman. As a matter of fact, I have a new job for you. So leave right now. And you have Bird leave. And so for Robin, it kind of sucks that he was not able to bring the guy down. Now, really, this chapter wraps up with Batman being able to bring down both characters and now go on his way to find other inmates in Gotham City. Now, when he does get outside, he realized that Robin is missing. But at least we all know that Robin is okay, but Robin did get a beat down from Bird earlier. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So in our next Knightfall video, we're going to see Batman going up against Scarecrow, but we're also going to see Killer Croc coming back for another round against, well, Bane. Because remember, Bane did break the arm of Killer Croc in our previous video when it came to preludes leading into Knightfall. But either way, guys, this is where I am going to end today's comic book video. So guys, see y'all next time. Later.